Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be reviewing fractions again. We will start with our I can statement and then begin on the slides. I can partition shapes into 2 and 4 equal shares. First, we're going to begin with a warm-up. The warm-up wants us to color the shapes that show halves, show fourths, and then show third. So first, we're going to begin with the shapes that show halves. When a shape is partitioned into 2 shares, it is partitioned into halves. So we're going to color each shape that is partitioned into halves or 2 shares. The square is partitioned into halves. It has 2 shares. And the circle is partitioned into halves. It has 2 shares as well. So now let's color in the shapes that are partitioned into fourths. Which shape is partitioned into fourths? Very good. The rectangle has 4 shares, and the circle has 4 shares. Now let's color the shapes that are partitioned into thirds. Which shape is partitioned into 3 shares? Very good. The circle is partitioned into 3 shares, and the square is partitioned into 3 shares. Mario wants to cut the pizza into equal pieces and give his sister a fourth of the pizza to eat. Color the piece of pizza that Mario would give his sister. First, we need to cut the pizza into fourths. I know I'm cutting it into fourths because his sister gets a fourth of a pizza, which means there are 4 slices. And it needs to be equal, meaning each slice is the same size and the same shape. I'm going to do this by, there we go, drawing an X on the pizza. This gives me 1, 2, 3, 4 slices. Each slice is the same size and the same shape. Now, it's asking me to color the piece of pizza that Mario would give his sister. Let's go back to the problem and reread it. Mario wants to cut the pizza into equal pieces and give his sister a fourth of the pizza to eat. So Mario's sister is getting 1/4 of the pizza. She's getting a fourth. She's getting 1 out of 4 slices. Color the piece of pizza that Mario would give his sister. Mario is only getting 1 out of the 4 slices, so I'm going to choose 1 slice to color in. This shows the slice that Mario would give his sister, 1/4 of the pizza. Christopher wants to give half of his candy bar to his brother. Color the piece of the candy bar that Christopher would give his brother. First, we need to partition the candy bar. It says that he wants to give half of the candy bar to his brother. So I know there needs to be 2 pieces. The candy bar needs to be cut into halves. Now I want you to pause the video, draw a rectangle, partition it to halves, and then color the piece of the candy bar that Christopher would give his brother. All right. Now it says that Christopher would give half of his candy bar to his brother. So I'm going to color in half of the candy bar. This now shows that the piece of candy bar that Christopher would give to his brother is colored in. His brother gets 1 out of 2 shares, 1/2 of the candy bar. All right, now it is your turn. I'm going to read you the problem and then I want you to pause the video to solve. Show how to partition the circle into halves. Show how to partition this circle into fourths. What did you notice about the size of the pieces when you partition the shape into more equal shares? So this is a 3-step problem. The first thing you're going to do is partition the circle into halves. And then you're going to partition the second circle into fourths. And then you're going to observe both shapes. What did you notice about the size of the pieces when you partition the shape into more equal shares? Ready? Pause. All right. Your first circle should be partitioned into halves, 2 equal shares, and your second circle should be partitioned into fourths, 4 equal shares. Now, let's look at the last question. What did you notice about the size of the pieces when you partition the shape into more equal shares? If I look at this first circle, I notice that the shares are very big. But when I partition it into more equal shares, the shares get smaller. All right, now it is your turn to do your seesaw assignment. So go ahead and get started on your seesaw and post it on your journal for your teacher to see. Have a good day, guys.